So we're going to continue along with Ezra and the rebuilding of the temple. As we left off in the last devotional, you know, the people were a little nervous. They were scared because of those outsiders that were oppressing and trying to discourage them in their work. But they continued and they pressed on after a short delay of time. Well, a little bit of delay. But I want to pick up a section here in Ezra, and I'm not going to read like all the verses here. I'm actually jumping through a little section. You can know these scriptures I found in Ezra chapter 6, but listen to what it says here. So the Jewish elders continued their work, and they were greatly encouraged by the preaching of the prophets Haggai and Zechariah, son of Iddo. The temple was finally finished, as had been commanded by the God of Israel, and decreed by Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, the kings of Persia. The temple was completed on March 12th during the 6th year of Darius's reign. The temple of God was then dedicated with great joy by the people of Israel, the priests, the Levites, and the rest of the people who had returned from the exile. The Passover meal was eaten by the people of Israel who had returned from exile and by others in the land who had turned from their corrupt practices to worship the Lord God of Israel. Then they celebrated the festival of unleavened bread for 7 days, and there was great joy throughout the land, because the Lord had caused the king of Assyria to be favorable to them, so that he helped them to rebuild the temple of God, the God of Israel. So, a couple things I want to look at in here is the fact that, you know, when we push on and we press through all the stuff that happens, God is pleased and God always honors his word. God will do what he says he will do when his people do what he asks them to do. The celebration that took place was amazing, and everybody was excited because they saw the evidence of their work. They saw the evidence of God's promises. I want to encourage you today that maybe what's going on in your life, you're not seeing yet the evidences of being obedient to God. Because you don't see it today, and because there's oppressors that are speaking against you, and because you're having to push through stuff, doesn't mean God didn't say it, doesn't mean God won't do it. It means that we are called to be determined, straightforward in doing what God has asked us to do. And there will be a day that we see what God said he will do accomplished. Trust him. Trust him today, church. Let's be focused, intentional, and moving in the direction that God has asked us to move, and be faithful in what he's asked us to do, and God will be faithful in what he promises to do. Let's be that church. God bless you today.